Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new Tech Out Loud video. This time I'll be going over Far Cry 4, which I played through last week, and give my thoughts on why I really enjoyed this title and why I am even favoring this over the newly released Far Cry Primal. So this game came out on November 2014, and in my opinion it still totally holds up. After playing Far Cry 1 and 2 on the PC back in the day, I thought I'd give the franchise another shot, and played through Far Cry 3 last year. Also a great game, by the way. I will compare some aspects of both games as we go along our usual topics, because the first thing you'll see in any game are the graphics. I'll start with these stunning and rich graphics they managed to produce in the 4th iteration of Far Cry. Using the Dunia 2 engine that is based on the CryEngine 1, Ubisoft has created a template for some of the best dynamic lighting, vegetation, weather, fire, explosions, and animal movement I've seen up to that time, as well as up to now. Even some newly released AAA titles for consoles can't compare to this quality of visualization. This makes diving into the world of Far Cry 4 so much fun. The grass moves in different patterns, and you can see trees swaying in the background from miles away. One of the toughest things to get right is the movement of animals. I think animals in this game look amazing. When hunting them, you really feel like you're a bow hunter collecting animal skins and pieces of flesh to use as bait. The viewing distance in Far Cry 4 is some of the best out there on the PS4. It gives you the feeling of being able to go anywhere, and also the feeling of being able to affect things that are far away from you, be it animals or enemy henchmen. The water effects are great, and diving underwater looks awesome. The different settings are presented with rich details, such as the dirt road, snow-covered Himalayan mountains, and sandy beaches. Thanks to the CryEngine, this game will hold up a couple of more years visually. The story is a bit less involving than in Far Cry 3. In Far Cry 3, you start out as a tourist, you get captured by pirates, and have to escape. Your brother, the army veteran, starts out as the badass as he single-handedly gets you out of the bamboo cage and starts you off on your journey. After he is killed, though, you gradually turn into a fearless jungle warrior, being adored and basically worshipped by this tribe that you are trying to free as well. So that's a really great premise, and seeing the gradual transformation of your character is involving and keeps you guessing along the way. In Far Cry 4, you are the son of a legendary Himalayan revolutionary who comes back from the US, back to your origins, just to find yourself in the midst of a civil war between the royal army under the command of tyrannical pagan Min and the rebel group that calls itself the Golden Path.
I actually believed you when you said all you wanted to do was honor your mother's dying wish. Go on, son of Mohan, savior of Kyrat. Follow your orders, pull the trigger. I'm sure it's the will of Kira.
Later, the story is riddled with side missions, introducing interesting characters, having to choose who leads the Golden Path to victory, and an ending with multiple outcomes.
I come from a land of death and misery, and I stood with the devil for so long.
In itself, it is an interesting setting, but it doesn't deliver the involvement and character development that the third Far Cry has for your main protagonist, as he evolves from being the hunted to being the hunter. I would have loved to see Far Cry 4 be the direct sequel to Far Cry 3, as it was initially planned but later scrapped due to multiple reasons. So now to gameplay and AI. So what turned me off the first Far Cry was the absence of any real tactics or stealth play. You basically went from random jungle base to random jungle base and shot up the place. Far Cry 4 introduced some new ways to approach the base, distract guards, and take them out one by one. It's really fun to scout out the base first and try out new angles of approach, either by just stealth killing every henchman, sneaking around, turning off the alarms to avoid reinforcements, using trapped animals in the base to cause havoc while you start your raid, or by throwing pieces of bait over the fence to attract predators of the wild, such as tigers or bears, to start off an attack. You can even ride elephants and tear down the whole place, or call on and hire gunmen for support. My favorite weapon was the recurve bow. It's a quiet weapon which seldomly runs out of ammo and has a lot of versatility due to grenade and fire arrow options. There are lots of weapons to choose from, although I kept the same setup throughout most of the game. My sidearm was the grenade launcher, yes, seriously, the recurve bow for stealth and versatility, assault rifle, and a semi-automatic shotgun. There really isn't anything else you need. The only weapon I changed was the assault rifle for the MG42 Buzzsaw, as it has a 400 round mag and reloads pretty quickly. But I did this way in the end, and there are still lots of special weapons to acquire throughout the game nonetheless, to fit everyone's taste and keep you trying out different guns. Vehicles are abundant and are really fun to use. You have your choice of normal beat up cars, pickup trucks, quads, hang gliders, and makeshift gyrocopter, a wingsuit, jet skis, different boats, and more. There's a lot to do in this map. How much? Well, I finished the game with all side missions, some activities, and my game progression was at 50%. This just presents the vast amount of achievements available. Aside from an abundance of main missions, side missions, and minigames, there's a large hunting aspect to the game as well. You upgrade your carrying bags for ammo, weapons, and whatnot by hunting certain animals. And even in the water, the wildlife in this game is rich and believable, as while roaming through the map on foot you will see tigers and other predators running after their prey or attacking people. But apparently the fiercest of all predators is the ruthless eagle. You will hear warning screams all over the map. They will attack you a lot. They even fit in like small vermin and birds that aren't essential to the game, but you can kill them and disembowel them to use as bait as well. Another known aspect are the different plants you can farm to concoct different syringes, from your normal healing syringes to actual PEDs. It's not cheating if you're fighting for your life, folks. You will turn into an all-out junkie in the middle of the game, pressing one syringe into your arm after the other as they enhance your tolerance to bullets, making you swim and run faster, hold your breath underwater, and to some extent even control the wildlife. You also have your usual leveling up and gaining perks and moves for your character as well. There's a ton of stuff to do in this world, which will keep you occupied between the main missions. The map is huge. It's fun to navigate and offers fast travel locations as well to speed things along when needed. The AI presented in this game is not top notch, but it does get the job done and might present some difficult moments when silently taking over a base. There are clear walk patterns to be seen, but their overall performance does give it a lively feel and is sufficient for most people. Overall, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. There were some bugs, some funny and some trivial, others annoying. For example, at one point you would try to use the hang glider, and it kind of flopped out from under you all the time, and it even hurt your player, and it kept doing this. The story is okay, but not as cool as Far Cry 3. The graphics are still, to this date, awesome, especially explosions, fire, and vegetation look amazing. I think I will skip Far Cry Primal for now. While I think it is a bold concept to turn back time and throws into the caveman era, Far Cry Primal definitely has some cool features, especially with animal bonding, but from a combat perspective, it's hard for me to go back to pointy sticks after having blasted helicopters out of the sky with a grenade launcher. Especially with Far Cry 4 starting out this initial animal bonding approach with the elephant riding ability and its rather sizable hunting element. Add to all that an online co-op mode in which you can play through missions with people online, and even its own powerful map editor to create your very own missions and levels using all the available content from within the game, such as mountainous areas, beaches, valleys, animals, and enemies, as well as buildings. It will take some time to get used to the controls, but it's going to be a lot of fun creating your own challenging stealth missions to share with your friends. So that concludes my review, guys. How did you like Far Cry 4 in 2014, and how well do you think it held up? Write us in the comments, like and subscribe to be awesome. I'm Roman from Tech Out Loud, and I will see you in the next video.